Hello friends, my name's James. And this is my 1965 Alberg 30 sloop SV Tritea. I have been slowly sailing solo around the world since leaving Los Angeles in 2021. This is Rhonda, a Kiwi sailor who moved aboard full-time once I reached Sydney. Join us as we explore the east coast of Australia and see as many wild places and wild animals as possible.
Just down in here.
Oh, wow. As we make our way up to Southeast Asia. Hello from Nelson Bay, Port Stephens, New South Wales. Very rainy day. This is our second day of storms.
Yeah.
And our third day here at Nelson Bay. Our first day was that lovely day of sunshine and snorkeling. Yesterday was stormy all day. Last night was rather stormy. And now it's just rainy, not crazy winds. We looked at the forecast, and if we leave this afternoon to push north, we have good sailing winds. We don't have to motor the whole way, which is good. So that's what we're gonna do. Around 3 p.m., we're gonna head to the fuel dock, fuel up, and then we're gonna push out so that we can get away from, out of the entrance and away from all the islands and stuff here in the light. And we're either gonna go to Crowdy Head, which is 65 miles or something away, or we're gonna push all the way to Port Macquarie. Either way, if we leave in the afternoon, we'll arrive at daylight to both of those locations. So, that's the jam. And how are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling a little anxious. This will be my first night sail. We have left in the dark before, but dark getting to light, not light getting to dark, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe it's just a mindset thing, I guess, you know. The weather last night was pretty gnarly, so I kind of have that in the back of my head as well. I don't know.
Like you're saying, the forecasts are hard to trust.
Yeah, I'm finding it really difficult to have faith in the forecasts. Like, they just seem quite way off, and it's it creates a lot of anxiety for me. So yeah, we'll see.
All the models.
I guess I'll just take a dram and.
Nah, you don't. She doesn't get seasick, so she's.
No, just to sleep.
Yeah,
just to put me out.
She's perfectly in the clear. She doesn't get.
Oh
seasick,
yeah, I'm not worried about the seasickness thing.
Because it's going to be 2-meter seas.
Yeah,
for sure.
I guess that probably is a little bit kind of. I don't know. Like, it's just all new. I suppose it's just a whole new experience for me, and I just have a bit of anxiety around it. And yeah, like, I trust James, and I trust, I trust my safety with him, but I don't trust what I can't control, so I have to. There's a lot of letting go, I suppose, and just putting my putting that aside and just allowing things just to happen.
And that's a very real part of sailing and cruising, is like there's so many parameters that you're not in control of, so you just do what you can, and work with what you have. But I think we both would rather sail for 16 hours than motor.
Oh, 100%.
Because if we wait till tomorrow, then we're going to be motoring.
Yeah,
for 70
I would
miles.
much rather be sailing than motoring, 100%. The engine's awesome, but it's exhausting as well. Like, it's actually, and I guess it's like a noise pollution, when you've got that kind of constant droning going. It's extremely exhausting.
It is really exhausting.
So yeah, I'd much rather be sailing, that's for sure. And also, we just need to cover some ground, to be honest. We've lost so much time. So,
and the further north we get, the warmer it's going to be, the further we're going to be away from these storms.
Yeah.
Because it's like getting into deep fall right now. And
we don't want to miss the whales.
We don't want to miss the whales, and also, well, we should have enough wind today. We'll have enough wind today to use the hydrovane, so we don't have to use the little tiller pilot. I think it's going to be a very rainy sail, but it's forecast to be rainy for 7 days. So
yeah, so the rain doesn't really matter, does it?
Nah, it's just part of it. So that's where we're at. We're having some tea now, and finished getting the boat kind of dialed in, and then this afternoon we're going to push off. good?
Yeah. We're gonna go left, right?
I don't know where we're gonna go.
Okay.
I want to go to that. You will not at the very end. Watch these rocks over here.
Where's the fuel? That well, right there.
I don't know where we're towards the mountain.
It's very little.
So hold this on right here?
Yeah.
Hold that, hold that, hold that, hold that. Huh. All right, we're all tied up at the public wharf at Crowdy Head. We had a 65 nautical mile passage last night. We managed to sail the entire way. We just motored out past the heads at Port Stevens, killed the engine, had usable sailing wind all night until the last 6 miles. Then we had to turn on the engine because the winds had come down, which they were forecasted to. What'd you think of your first overnight sail?
I thought it was, I mean, it was fine. I didn't feel unsafe or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I felt safe, but I felt it was just different, I suppose. Like, I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah, pretty big seas, like 1.5 or 1.8 meter seas.
Yeah, I went up into the V-berth to sort some stuff out because the hatch hadn't been closed properly, so there was everything was quite wet up there. So I was in there for quite a while, and kind of I don't think that was overly a great idea. I don't get seasick, but I had already felt quite anxious about the passage anyway for some reason. And maybe that, and also being up in the V-berth, being thrown around a bit, probably didn't really, yeah, kind of felt a bit unsettled. So I laid down pretty quickly, I think, as well, and just tried to sort my shit out, get my head together. I didn't feel like I wasn't anxious about anything going wrong out there as such. I don't really even know where that came from. It's probably just a bit of the unknown, I suppose. Like,
well, you've never done an overnight sail, you've never sailed all night before.
yeah,
Makes sense that you'd be anxious.
and I guess these sort of, I don't know, like I start thinking about the whole, like the boats, the other boats out there, not, you know, visibility and things like that, I suppose, is all in the back of my head. I don't know.
We had probably 10 squalls last night.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of sleep happening.
No.
It was like, James had the alarm set for
every 20 minutes until we passed that lighthouse.
Oh, that's what it was.
And then once we passed this lighthouse and we were kind of well offshore, then I changed it to every 30 minutes.
And I was just anticipating that alarm going off as well.
Yeah.
But the squalls as well, like you can feel it in the boat. Like you can feel when it's about to happen as well. Like I seem to I pick up on that. I must be quite sensitive to it or something, I don't know. But I can anticipate when it's going to happen. So that kind of wakes me up as well. Not that I'm really overly in a deep sleep. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, all in all, it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, there was nothing dangerous.
It was nothing dangerous. I didn't feel unsafe or anything like that. Like, it's just a whole different game. You're in the dark, and you know, everything's dark. It's quite buzzy. Like at one point, I was just laying there, and just thinking about us, just like swooshing around on the ocean in the dark. This little tiny Tritaea, and it was just this funny kind of like, I don't know, bird's eye view of us as well going on, which was quite neat. But I felt really safe inside, like I was like all cozy in my berth, and I was just like there was no like hectic loud noises. We were just sailing along, you know, there was a bit of clanging and things, but nothing too mental or anything. So I felt like I was in this safe little cozy cocoon, or like inside Tritaea as well. Like it was this kind of weird sensation.
She's almost too quiet down below.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be down there and be like, oh, it's chill, and then you'll come in the cockpit and you're like, oh, I should have like shortened sail a while ago, because it's so quiet down below.
Very secure. You feel very secure.
And you come out on deck and it's like all hell's breaking loose.
I didn't go out on deck.
Not last night. Yesterday's passage was fine. The winds never got above like 17 knots. None of the squalls are gnarly. They were just kind of annoying because there would be like, you know, 4 knots of wind for like an hour or half an hour, and then there would be a squall, and then there would be 4 knots of wind. It was like this calm or squall back and forth.
Very consistent.
Yep.
Like it was just this consistent thing. Like you just start to doze off and feel like you were comfortable. You're like, yeah, cool, we're in a good spot, and then boom, again.
Yeah, and we only saw one boat the whole passage, and that was like, he got pretty close to us. We saw him on AIS
this morning.
Yeah, it was in the daylight, but we held him. They got within a quarter mile of us. It's this giant super yacht. I don't know why they got so close to us, but
it was almost like they were like picking our path, like pointing straight at us as well. It was very odd.
But that's the only, I saw some like freighters and cargo ships off in about 20 miles out.
Offshore.
The furthest we got out was about 10 miles offshore. But yeah, it was a fine passage. I'm really glad I made the call for us to leave, because we got to sail the whole way.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
The sea state was terrible. Once the wind stopped, the sea state was a total bummer the last 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like what do you call it? The waves, the swell, you know, like it was fairly decent.
Yeah.
Like it was
pretty big.
Yeah, it was. You know, but it felt fine.
Yeah, because we had good wind and we were able to stay on.
Yeah.
We had a good point of sail last night.
But yeah, once we had that engine on, it was a whole different game.
But we only had to run the engine for the last 2 hours, so it was chill.
Yeah.
2 hours, 6 miles. Took us 2 hours to go 6 miles. And now we're sitting in the bay. There's like thousands of mullets just chilling out. Thousands of mullets. Like, we saw a shark hanging out over at the wharf over there. I saw his dorsal fin and his tail, so I was like, oh, that's like a legit shark. And then the second time I saw him, I saw a bunch of people on the wharf run over and they looked in, and Rhonda heard one of them say that it was 10 feet long. Which makes sense if you think about the distance between the...
We haven't seen him again since though.
But we're just going to be here tonight. No wind tomorrow, so we're just going to motor to Port Mac in the morning. Hopefully the swell is down a little bit.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And yeah, another, you know, we're just chipping off the miles, pushing north.
Yeah.
Hello from Coffs Harbor. We made a like 100-mile passage in the last 2 days to get up here. We're in a very rolly anchorage that is Coffs Harbor. We're about to move into the marina, and Rhonda is going to dock the boat for the first time in a marina.
Exciting.
All I'm gonna say is I'm very glad no one filmed my first attempt at docking a boat, but she's very good at driving the boat. She's driven the boat onto jetties and stuff, so. And they gave us a really good, easy spot. So, let's get it done.
Let's do it.
Slow up and let this dude go in.
Huh?
Slow up and let this dude go in. Go to neutral. All the way to neutral. Maybe even point out to sea and circle back. Let that dude get totally out of here. He's right here. boat coming out.
Oh, great.
Pull up. Go towards that ball. There's a kayaker, but just kind of.
Huh?
There's a kayaker too, but just go slow.
Are they going into the marina?
No, they're cutting in front of you.
Idiot.
All right, go. Watch the breakwater. Last thing to know is like, when you're, here's the finger, when you're coming in and you're turning like this, you're gonna still be moving sideways, okay? Just know that. When you make your turn, you're still moving sideways. So, like you wanna get, you wanna be able to make the turn, but just realize you're gonna continue traveling. So just be going slow and be able to give it gas in little bursts to get yourself to work. Hug these pilings and then make your turn,
On the outside of this thing, right?
Yeah, on the outside of that. Hug them though.
Yeah.
And then if you have to go in reverse, just do bursts in reverse. Don't go full on because it'll move your back in. Start your turn now to get tight on the piling. Turn. And then hug these pilings. What's your speed?
2.
Slow down. Get down to a knot before you re-engage.
I'm already at a knot.
Okay, give it just a little bit of forward motion. And when you get to this last piling, that's when you start making your big turn. Okay?
When my nose gets there?
Kind of when we get it like, yeah, when your nose gets there, just engage. There's a little bit of wind somewhere. Speed.
1.3.
Straighten up. Straighten up, straighten up, straighten up. Straighten up. Start to turn. Not real hard though. Point towards Flynn. Point towards Flynn. Now point more.
Huh?
Point more. Go straight. Straight. Now point hard over. Give it a little gas if you need. Give it gas. Point hard. Give it gas. Give it gas. Hard, and then back up. Turn hard.
What?
Hard. Okay. Hard. There you go, you got it. Yeah. Hard. There you go. You got it. Perfect landing. Perfect landing. I'll break us. Perfect landing.
Woo! Oysters.
That's probably good on that one.
I'll let you fiddle with it.
I think it's perfect. Ooh, that wasn't easy.
Are you stressed
No, no.
from my landing?
I wasn't. No, you did perfect. Let's talk to the camera. Oh boy, she didn't have an easy first entry there. A lot of silly traffic.
Swimmers, kayaks,
Kayakers.
another boat
Another
coming
boat
out.
coming out.
my
Very
Lord.
tight little entrance. But she stuck the landing. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Another merit badge.
That's right. Good job. Awesome. All right, now we're going to relax. All right. We are in Coffs Harbor, getting ready to depart for what we intend on being about a 2-day sail up to Brisbane. Getting into the protection of the waters near to south of Brisbane. I think it's called Moreton Bay or something like that. We're shooting for like the southernmost entrance just to get in out of the ocean and work our way up to the Brisbane area. We've been here in Coffs. I think today's the 4th day we've been here. There've been quite a bit of rain and wind and storms. Yesterday we had an apocalyptic amount of rain and 20 to 30 knots of wind, which was never forecasted on any of the models, the grid files, like through PredictWind, on ECMWF, PWE, any of them. None of them showed that kind of wind. So we'll see. It's supposed to be about 15 knots out there right now, which is really good sailing wind for us. And the sea state's supposed to be manageable. So my biggest concern right now about this passage is us running out of wind. We can motor, but with big seas and no wind, the hydrovane won't do the steering, and our little auto tiller has a really hard time. So I don't want to get stuck hand steering for 2 days. So that's my concern. And there's not a ton of places to duck in between Coffs Harbor and Brisbane. We could anchor at Byron Bay, which looks very exposed. And everything else is like bar entrances. So we're trying to avoid as many bar entrances as we can, while also avoiding the south setting current. I think it's called the EAC or something like that. And we've already had a run-in with that coming up here to Coffs. So that's the plan. We're going to do a big push north, 145 miles to the entrance from here, and let's get it going.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? How was your lay down?
I got zero sleep. I just listened to sounds as we pitched and rolled.
So what you're saying is you've dialed in all the sounds, so when I go to lay down, it'll be quiet.
I did my
Perhaps
best.
I should have done the first lay down.
I did my best for you.
While I tried to keep us on track and get us a little bit more on course with the wind vane.
How's the day been?
It's been very big rolly seas.
Yeah.
There's a container ship out there. Really big rolly seas, a few squalls. Took us ages to get the frickin' boat on track. Just lots of sail changes, lots of tweaking, lots of messing about.
Yeah. Good speed though.
Wicked speed.
We've been flying.
Yeah. Yeah, like, well, 2-day passage is going to take us less than 2 days.
Yeah, day and a half.
That's means I don't get to do a 2-day passage, but it means we get to get there sooner.
Yeah. And what are you doing?
And out of these seas.
What are you doing right now?
I'm just doing a word search. I just picked up this little word search book at the store. Sort of a bit of a non-brainer thing. I haven't got any reception on my phone, so now I've stopped scrolling and I'm going to sit and do this for a minute.
Nice.
Get thrown around.
Hello from a very rolly Byron Bay. We tucked in here for a bit of a rest, but the anchorage is so rolly I'm not sure it's going to be much of a rest. We anchored behind a shoal, kind of where everybody else anchors on avionics. So we're just going to take a pause for a second, try to maybe take a nap, eat some food, and then we might get back to sailing. We were both saying, like, if we're going to have this kind of motion, might as well be clipping off the miles, right? So it's not sort of a sleeping anchorage.
We haven't had a lot of sleep.
Yeah, we have not had much sleep. It's been a
Really?
26-hour trip so far, about 110 miles, and we have, I think, like 40 miles to go to get into Southport. So we'll probably just pause for a second and then head out. Good morning from Byron Bay. We had a pretty active night on anchor last night, got what rest we could, and now it's time to haul up and head out. Our final 44 nautical mile push to Moreton Bay. It's in the protection of this massive sand island. That's where you enter to go up to Brisbane. Have a good offshore breeze right now. We're supposed to have like 12 knots onshore, but we'll see what's happening. But we have a little bit of wind at the moment, which is great. So, it's time to get the show on the road. Oh, there they are. Nice little welcome.
Hello.
That was cool. Good spotting.
No, it was me this time.
It just came on?
Yeah.
Oh, we made it to the Gold Coast. We are anchored somewhere. We just found a spot, drove up a channel, dropped the hook in the dark. Went very well.
It went so well. It was so easy. Like, getting the hook set. It was crazy. The current.
Yeah, just set us.
Yeah, it was incredible. There's so many boats around.
Today was pretty easy passage. What do you say? 11 hours? Which didn't, like you're saying, it didn't feel like 11 hours.
Didn't feel like 11 hours. It was easier than yesterday's passage. The seas were still big, but not as big as yesterday, and just, I don't know, it's just a different passage, really, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, the seas weren't charging as hard, so the boat wasn't as big of a struggle. We had our wing and wing almost all day, and there was one point where we rounded the, what was the name of that? Tweed Head. And there's a bunch of shoals and stuff, and that was like I had to hand steer through that stuff. But other than that, the boat handled herself very well today. And we didn't have enough wind to just sail, so we motor sailed for 44 miles.
Which is interesting, isn't it? Because like usually with the engine, it just makes things, you're just even more exhausted just because of the noise pollution. But even with that, like, I feel shattered, but I don't feel as shattered as what I did yesterday. And we didn't run the engine the whole day yesterday, did we?
No, we didn't. It was 50-50, but we also did 110 miles yesterday.
That's true.
So we did what? This is less than half of what we did yesterday.
44.
So 44 miles today.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah. It was the right call to stop at Byron Bay. It was a little spooky when we dropped the anchor and the big seas, and
it was
pretty rolly last night, but we both got some rest.
I felt like I didn't get a lot of rest, but just on passage today I felt a lot more alert, like, so I definitely must have gotten some lucid sleep.
Yes, I got some good rest. I mean, I woke up from the rolling a couple times, but I slept pretty good last night.
It was like this consistent roll, but then every so often you just get these like sets come through, and it would be like maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 really big rolls, and then it would settle back into its regular roll. So yeah, you sort of started to anticipate that. Well, I did as well, probably because I was awake for a lot more.
Rhonda slept in the passage berth. I slept forward in the V berth. I slept sideways because the rolls were so silly.
I started out in the V berth, but I had to gap it because I needed to.
Yeah, we're just rolling in each other like
pin myself in the passage berth.
But Byron Bay was the right call.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we also were able to, Rhonda drove us in, as you guys saw in the video, into Southgate entrance at twilight. Southport entrance in the at twilight, you know, so there was enough daylight that we could see everything. I think that would have been a scary entrance in the dark.
Yeah, it didn't help though coming up to it that the lights weren't on yet as well. Like, it would just kind of, I don't know, like maybe just coming around into it, and I noticed that the lights had finally turned on, so that was kind of a little bit daunting at first. But I was like, are these gonna even turn on? But
yeah, it was an easy entrance, and then we saw dolphins as soon as we got inside, which was cool.
That was really nice.
We saw
dolphins today too.
Dolphins
Twice.
today, and we saw 2 sharks. First one, I saw a great white, pretty big, and then we saw a shark, and then the dolphin showed up and the shark vanished.
Yeah, didn't see him again.
Yeah. So, oof, it's technically it's like 400 miles from Sydney to here, like in a straight shot, which we obviously didn't do a straight shot. We had done 400 miles, covered 400 miles, like all zigzaggy by the time we hit Coffs Harbour. So that means we're well over 500 miles, probably 600 miles at this point, passage up from Sydney.
Crazy.
And I don't even know how many days. It's like hard to know because we got stuck in the lake.
But
we made it. We made it. Now we're at, I don't know if this is technically called Moreton Bay, but
no, I think Moreton Bay's further.
it's further where the islands are.
Yeah, further up.
But we're at Gold Coast. We're gonna spend a couple days relaxing here, and then work our way up through the waterway to Brisbane. And now it's time to go to sleep. Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and we can't wait to show you everything we see in Queensland. If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to contribute, you can consider joining the Patreon crew. Thanks for watching. Fair winds until next time.